You hear me, Chris, mate? Nice, mate. If you've got any questions, all right, mate, just ask and I'll answer anything that I can. But if not, mate, I'll just talk and I'll go through what I've missed today, why I think I missed it, and all that jazz. So
I don't know the talk on this. There's only the guy running it and two others, isn't it?
what I'll do is I'll start at the very beginning of where the trade sort of originated from, and so I marked up this area here. I think I've marked on the 2 hour. I find it just so it makes a bit more sense. Yeah, this last little candle before the big push down, you probably trend line liquidity somewhere in here, and that's a sweep. So obviously I marked the zone, set an alert, and as soon as price hit it here, I always drop to the 15. The 15 is where I've gone wrong on this one. Just because it's last up again before the down move that breaks structure to here. So as soon as it broke this low here, that validates sort of like this last candle for me.
That pink box, Lee, is that a 4 hour or 1 hour box?
It's the 2 hour, mate, but I always start on the 4 hour. I'll just go back, mate, just so you can see it. So yeah, it's the 2 hour candle there, mate, the last up one before the down. You could include that as well, but
yeah, I
just did that at the most recent sort of high. And if it had gone above to sort of like about here, I'd have then just adjusted the box and moved on. But yeah, but if price would have come up originally above this high here, then I'd just delete the zone and it'd be invalid and void for me. But yeah,
so that first entry there, that's just your first tap in. You're not looking to get an entry there.
Yeah, no. So obviously, this box wouldn't have even been made until like all this would have happened lightly, and then I would have looked at it after a couple of days and gone, oh yeah, this is an area I need to mark up. But from that happening to obviously hitting around here, sorry, measure it. So from there till today, to be honest, it's been 12 days in total, from start to finish. But I don't really pay attention until around about here, mate. As soon as I have a set alert on the bottom of this box here.
Okay.
So yeah, literally as soon as the price hits this orange box, I drop to the 15. Sorry, the red box originates from like a banker's move. I don't know if you know the banker's moves, but obviously this trend line there, sweep, and then obviously it broke structure to the downside. Obviously, yeah. So that's where the move originated from, obviously. So as soon as price would have hit here, my alert would have gone off, and then I would have literally just set another alert. I'd have moved it to probably down here originally. Obviously, it didn't happen. It still hadn't happened, but because obviously prices come and set a new low, done another low, and then done that basically. So it's reset a low, another low, gone higher, broke this high, and then broke this low here. So the original alert would have been here, but as soon as it's done this, I'd have moved that to here. And obviously, as soon as this has done broken that, that's when it validates this orange box for me. So this has been 15-minute break. I did miss this trade today, but as I'm marking me orange boxes, or all me boxes to be fair, they always usually go to the last point of imbalance. On this, like there's no imbalance. Obviously everything's being covered on its way down. So I just went to the bottom of the candle. Since realizing, I've had a quick look over it, while I was at work, just to see if I could see anything, why I'd missed it, why it didn't make it. And if you go on the 10-minute, I think it is, there's some imbalance here. You've got imbalance there. So what I probably should have done is included that as my orange box rather than it being like there where I thought it was, about there. So if I'd have marked that area to cover this imbalance, because I do normally go for imbalance, I do normally include it because I think it's mega important to where things like to go to. So obviously, so there's been imbalance leading into this candle here. So, and that's exactly where it played out. So imbalance, kind of price come into it. But if it had been there, my alert, if I'd have had it in the right place, give me alert would have been at that open of that box. So as soon as price would have come into here, would then drop to the 1 minute. I don't think this is the cleanest or easiest to do, this one.
Just while you're there, that imbalance you just mentioned a second ago.
Yeah.
Do you ever use on that on the toolbar on the side where you got your shorts and your longs?
Yes.
Yeah. So in there, there's an indicator on the bottom on that tool on the bottom. So open that up. Yeah, right down the bottom, fixed range volume.
Yeah.
You ever use that?
No, I don't, mate. I don't. I think some of the lads do. I think Jason's done some videos on it, mate.
Yeah, the reason I ask is whether how that would line up with that imbalance.
I can ask. I can try, mate. I don't really know how it's used, but
that's right. I can tell you. So just click on it again, right, and then click at the highest point.
Yeah.
And then so then it'll line up, and then go to the lowest point.
Yeah.
And then click off. Right, and to see where that red line is, that's where the volume of money is.
Yeah, yeah. So with that, sorry, I'm just gonna. So if that's the case, should I have not? Would I not use it from this low to the high then? Because
yeah, try
this
that.
has happened
Try
since,
that.
obviously.
Yes, see what that does.
Midway.
I wonder how that lines up with your imbalance now.
Yeah. Well, the imbalance. I think
it's up there. Okay.
Just here,
yeah,
I
okay.
think, mate.
Yeah.
I think it's But yeah, I mean, it's where this bar here would be, I guess, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, it's just interesting because I'd seen how that looked.
But I mean, if we look a bit closer, it does run through imbalance here, imbalance here, imbalance here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sort of makes sense if that's what the indicator's about, but I don't use it, mate. I don't really.
Yeah. I think Jason was saying it's about where the most money is, where it wants to get back to get to that money.
Yeah, it sort of makes sense as that it would highlight imbalances then, because if loads of money being pumped through the market, like you've got your big candles that it's pushing through, then obviously it should run through the majority of the bigger candles, I guess. So it does make sense. It's just not. I have no use for it, mate. Really.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if it works for other people, it works for other people. But literally, what you can see on my screen now, boxes, is pretty much all I do, mate, and set alerts. So yeah, I don't really use any.
How long have you been doing it for, Lee?
So I've been in the group for about, I think it's between a year and a quarter, a year and a half. I've dawdled around for 2 or 3 of them months as well. But I got my head down from, it was last January, so last Christmas, I like finished Christmas with work and everything, and then I got my head down and focused. So, but I'm still like learning myself, and that I'm not like mega or anything. I'm not even funded or out yet, but I'm doing well. Do you know what I mean? With demos and
Yeah,
things
no,
like
that's
that.
good.
Things are really
Yeah.
working out. So,
It's certainly an up and down ride, isn't it?
oh, absolutely, mate. Yeah, yeah. It's not easy. It's like I almost feel like you can learn the strategy in a few weeks once you know the basics, terminology, and all that sort of stuff. Like I say, I feel like you can learn it really quickly, but then you get to your mindset sort of issues, and they're just not a quick fix, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you've just got to put start time in. You've got to put a lot of demo, a lot of effort in on to figure out what these issues can be that we don't always know we've got to begin with. So yeah. But yeah, I'll just jump back to this trade, mate, as well, and then I'll explain what I would have seen from the entry as well. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Wyckoff, if I say it, but what structure would have been for me is I like to see what a breaker structure on the 1 minute as well after once it hits the orange box. So structure for me would have been but to me that this is pretty much what I believe this is a Wyckoff move. I only use the Wyckoff as an entry sort of setup. But basically is you tend to get a couple of like a bit of build up of liquidity in here, a couple of like highs and lows. Then you get a quite a decent little push up that takes out liquidity above. Liquidity there, and then you get a little sweep. Then I'd prefer this to being a bit more of a breakdown here, but because you've got the engulfing candle, this break deep below the closes of them, that would have been my entry just here as soon as it had a, actually you can see the red box on this candle here. That would have been my entry if I'd have got this orange box in the right place the first time.
You don't do pendings, you just straight in when you're waiting for it.
Yeah. I mean, I do set pendings as well. I'll go up. I missed a euro AUD trade as well today, mate. So they're quite similar trades because they're both euro, but this one I thought this trade was sort of like a couple of hours behind euro AUD because this one had the AUD one I thought had already hit me orange box, whereas I thought this one hadn't, because obviously this box was originally there, but obviously it should have been there. So I thought the two trades was pretty much the same, but one was slightly delayed by a couple of hours, if you like, which would have been nice if that ever happened, but obviously it don't, because if one told you what was happening before the other one happened, everyone would be rich, I guess. But yeah, like I was fully sort of expecting this to come down to here because similar things happened down here. So I'd have probably been looking at taking it down to here. I mean, if I was in it now, I'd be 15% up. Let's see, on a 100 grand account, it'd be 15 grand, let's say.
Nice.
Yeah, and not in a very long time either. 3 hours. 15.
Do you hold to a set ratio, or do you just keep following the highs down?
So what I'm still working on it. I don't have a set rule. I do need to come up with something, but I'm sort of because I've only been on demos. I sort of like let things hold, but once it's live, maybe I wouldn't dare hold. I've got other trades on here. I'll show you some in a bit, but I've got trades that have gone like 106 to ones and stuff, you know. But because it's not real money, you can hold it till it goes 100 to 1. But obviously, this is why I'm really big on back testing. I'm constantly looking over the trades that I win, lose, just missed, you know. So obviously looking over this one has made me realise that if I'd have just got down to the 10-minute, because there was no imbalance, the 10-minute showed me a little tiny bit of imbalance, which meant that I would have been in the trade if I'd have just dropped down. Time frame just to try and find what I was looking for, you know. But you find these sort of things out through back testing. Because I've seen it before as well, where there was no imbalance and I couldn't find my entry or my confirmation box. So just by looking over them numerous times, finally figured out that if I see it again, I know drop down one time frame, see if it works into the system like. But yeah, that's it for that one. But for, like I say, for this one, I think I'd have at least tried holding it to here. Probably the higher this were here, or that would be it'd be near enough for 20 to 1. I'd probably take some out at 10, maybe 12 to be honest. Something like that. Yeah, probably around this lows I'd maybe go. I'll take 8% off at that point and let 2 run. But like I generally have as well. I have like 3 pip stop losses. I think this one's 4. I think I worked out to 3 once I was running around here and I might have knocked it. Yeah, pretty much 4 pip stop loss, mate. But I generally get 3 pip stop losses if I can help it. Not on this trade. A pending wouldn't have worked on this one, mate. Just because it was real. This because this is only sort of like 6 odd minutes there from the low to the high, and then 4 or 5 minutes to the mini break of structure. So probably 11 minutes. Well, in reality, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes from your high to your break. So this one, no, it wouldn't have been a pending order, mate. I'd have had to have pretty much been watching this one. Euro AUD though is different, which I will go over that now as well. This one was actually the one I was watching a bit closer as well. I think it's ended up being a better trade, but similar reading again. I missed it, so yeah, on the higher time frame, I think it's on the 4 hour. So you got a couple of bits trend line was pretty there, a bit that way. Trend lines up here, there's pretty much trend lines everywhere, to be honest. Obviously, then you've got your sweep. You put your sweep here. and then obviously break structure down here. Same again, the settle layer at the bottom of this red box. As soon as price hits it, drop to the 15. And then wait for breaker structure. This one, this high here didn't give us a breaker structure, so just wait until it makes a new high. Break structure. If it doesn't break, if it didn't break, obviously it's done this. If it had done that and then broke structure, then I would still class this as me the high point. At that point, I'd then maybe look at doing that sort of thing as my zone, but see, can it just create a new high and then broke structure? It took a while, but to the structure here. So as soon as it broke below this here, then I'm at 15-minute box. Again, high point to the last bit of imbalance, so it was bringing a little bit of imbalance just below. Setting a layer at the bottom of the box again. As soon as the price get that again, drops to 1 minute. This one here, if I'd have got it right, I did actually set a pending to be on this one actually, but I set it at the wrong one. This box here was the pending I set, so I set it at the very high. So the body of that to the high. You see it's 3 minutes. Yeah. But I got it wrong. I went a touch high. What me and then so what I should have done. I mean, it's all right. Obviously, it's easy to say what I should have done now, but there is so the structure here for me was here for me. Just this low here. Yeah, so got broke here, got a close below it. This candle here. We could argue that this this that candle there is the last one before a little bit of imbalance. Imbalance in here. That actually breaks the structure. Yeah, see past this is the last one before the structure break comes down and breaks it. So as soon as it sort of like broke, I think it was here, I think I technically had it here. So once this is closed below here, I'd set this pending originally, but it should have been this one here. That candle there. No, when real hips. I think it should have been smaller. You can see break structure. Imagine just come back into it, you can see it will be perfectly. I'd still be in this one as well, because it's gone in the fits me not to really worry about session change over time, but from watching from there, that hit a 20 to a 1 to 20. But again, I'd still be looking at somewhere down here. down there would be nice. That's the overall sort of aim, I think, to be honest. But I always try and drop down to the 15 to figure out the structure point. So obviously you've got structure like going on like this. But ideally, so they always start on the 4 hour. Get with this. But I'm always trying to get trades from like the top of these bigger 4 hour structures. So you've got trend line in here. You maybe try and look at getting that down to there. If you could hold it that long, it'll be a mega trade. And I do think that'll go up higher up here anyway. If not break that, because if it's uptrending. But so I do think this will go higher. So I probably wouldn't hold this one mega long. But like I say, if I'd have got in it and it already hit a 20 to 1, I'd probably wait just for it to come down to this, somewhere around this low here. There's a bit of the backwards candle or supply zone or something, which would still be a ginormous trade anyway. It would be a sort of like a 50 to 55-ish, just to somewhere near this low. But yeah, it's holding it and saying you're going to hold it to the two different purposes. Well, they're literally the two trades that I missed today. But I know why I missed them now. I know if I see it all again, I can change it, approach and spot things. So.
Did you just mainly trade the euro?
Not really, mate. No, I trade pretty much everything that I can see. So if you look down here, mate, this is a full list. Yeah, it's pretty much a full list, mate. There is.
You got a day job?
Yeah, I have, yeah. Yeah, but this doesn't take a lot of time, you know. So I know I make the use of alerts, so I'll probably spend an hour or two here and there throughout the week, just marking up trend lines, and then if you get a sweep, so you might use like drawing this box, marking a sweep, drawing the box, setting an alert at the bottom of the box. You can do that in minutes, and then you literally you're just waiting to price hits your alert, and then you're removing. So from here, like I say, on the 15. I mean, this is just how I trade. Obviously, everyone's different.
That's right. Yeah, everyone's different.
But yeah, as soon as price would have hit it here, mate, I'd have literally just gone right. I'll set an alert somewhere down to like there or somewhere around here, but like a majorish sort of like looking point. So probably finish where I actually set it down here, probably this low here. Just set the alert, and then sort of like left it too. But I would have checked it after a few hours maybe just to see if it, like it did here, I was creating a new low and then a new high. So then I've literally just moved it. So it takes minutes to just alter things here and there, you know. I mean, I've always got my phone in my hand anyway, so I do often pop in and just check on, just have a quick blast through all the charts and just see if anything needs moving. But it doesn't take long. But the longest point for me really is when you get to this point here, because like on the euro card one, like I'd have needed to watch that. So I am trying to watch from this point here to about here. I'm trying to watch that, but obviously that's a decent bit of time. So I was at work, obviously, so I wouldn't have because I didn't have 6 hours to sit down and just sit and watch it. But again, on this one, that me alert would have been there. So that time, so the time from here to here, well, I didn't really need to check it for. It's hour and 3/4, 2 hours ish, you know, and then it's got to get back as well. So from it's like it took 6 hours to from there to there, but like I say, check it for 2 minutes.
So you're looking for that tap in, break a structure, and then another tap in.
Yeah, and then obviously as soon as it breaks structure, it's the same on the for me. It's the same on the 15. So the orange box is me 15, and the I normally have a green box where this entry box would be our blue area. Well, I'd normally draw a green box. So if we go on the bars read, so if we do that, I'll drop down to the 1 minute as well. So my alert would go off as soon as it's this orange box here. So my alert would have gone off there, and I'd literally come on, go right, set me alert there, maybe here. I do say that minimum structure needs at least 3 candles in the same direction. So I'd maybe consider these, but this is clearly a better structure point. So if it breaks here, I'm more happy. Otherwise, price could just come down here. You could maybe think that structure, it might not be. It could come down to there, just break below it, and then create a new high. But if it's coming down here, you know it's more of a valid break. But yeah, as soon as price would have hit this, like I said, I'd set an alert here, and then just literally wait for something to happen at that point. Let's say if it had gone off there, if I could just set it a touch higher, maybe it breaks it anyway. For me at that point, as soon as this alert goes off here, I'd then come look back up at this zone. Like I said, I did mark that zone. I sort of like 90% of the time, it's usually the last up candle and the high. So the high point with a bit of imbalance leading into it. But a lot of the time as well, that you do get, like I say, you get it's sometimes it's the actual like last sort of banker's candle before you break the structure here. Yeah. Yeah, and obviously, like I said, that one played out carefully. I didn't get in it, mate. Like I said, I missed it because I had this zone up. I put a penny on it, but I go back and as soon as that alert goes off here on the 1 minute, obviously, that's when it validates these boxes to me. So if price had only come down to there, then done whatever it wanted to do, like I'd delete these boxes until it broke below this. Because as far as structure goes, it's so much. Obviously, it moves in sort of like waves. Obviously, that's an uptrending thing until something's telling you it wants to go down and breaks below a structure point. The market's just going to want to keep going in the same direction. So you're waiting for it to tell you that it wants to change direction by breaking a structure. If you don't get a break of structure, like I say, it's just going to continue trending or doing whatever it wants to do. It could have still sold off, but that's why I always wait for me having structure breaks. So just out on the higher time frame, break a structure to the downside on the higher time frame. So the 4 hour broke structure here, 15 would have broken structure here or here on the 15 minute, and then you get the break on the 1 minute time on the 1 minute. So you've got 4 time frames telling you that it wants to go down. Obviously, it's the same. It's the same if it's up. Like you were looking for a buyer as well. Obviously, for this one, you've got a 4 hour break 15-minute break, 1 minute. So if this, because you've got the free time frames telling you they want to go a sell, chances are that this thing might go all the way down here. Well, like I say, even there, you've got multiple time frames, it's just powerful. Because I'm generally working to a 3 pips stop loss, so then trades can be monsters. Yeah, I think GJs generally. There's a couple of previous ones. I have noticed that these are playing into like zones that play into each other. But here, 160 for 1, 165 for 1. It's broke. But yeah, it's powerful, mate. I'm gonna have to jump off, guys, because I think I've got less than a minute before it's gonna kick me off the Zoom. All right.
Mate, looks good. Appreciate your time.
No worries, mate.